Well, I'm in a place that I sometimes find myself at the beginning of a project, which is I- I'm not really stuck, but I'm a little bit without a sense of direction. I feel that this piece, I'm just not sure yet what it wants to be. I thought I was starting out in the key of C major, and then I felt like, no, I think I'm in C Lydian. But now I'm wondering if maybe it's leaning more toward G major. So I'm not even sure of the key. Um, but more than that, I don't have a feel for the type of sort of rhythmic energy. I know I have a tendency to do things in a very syllabic fashion, so one pitch per syllable, but sometimes I find that that's a little bit plodding, plodding, plodding and stilted. So I'm trying to remind myself that I can write in a more melismatic fashion. So I'm going to try and see if that helps me get a better sense of flow for the piece. I'm also grappling with structure. I tend to mix it up. Sometimes I have a sense of chord progression first. Sometimes I have a sense of melody first. In this case, I'm hearing some ideas for the melody, so sort of starting there, I guess. But I also experimented a little bit with giving myself some chords. Um, I played in a jazz festival yesterday, so I have jazz progressions in my head. So I've been practicing, and one of the pieces that I was working on was Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans? So there are some chords there that I really love. So I was kind of experimenting with those a little bit, and then I've modified them, and I'm not sure they're going to work at all. Um, and I imagine that I'm going to rethink the chords in terms of what suits the emotions of the particular text at that time, but also to give myself a sense of momentum. I did see, you'll notice, so here I am on the score. You'll notice that I changed this initial two measure alto idea from repeating the I sometimes wish, just switching it up a little bit to say, sometimes I wish, I sometimes wish. And the reason I did that was because then I have this two measure segment, which repeats. And then when I repeat it the third time, you can see that now the lyrics line up with the soprano line that I had before. So it gives me a way to keep some of this underpinning, the accompaniment, the alto part accompaniment to the soprano. It allows me to keep that without it conflicting with the soprano so much. Instead, there's more of an alignment with some of the words. And you can see I haven't finished working with this yet, but I am going to change the alto words here so that supports the soprano better. And I'll do a Sibelius playback and attach it to the end of this video so you can hear what I have at the moment. You can see that I started the next portion, which is a sanctuary that holds the matted frog blanket, the plastic golf club, the sugar milk exhale of slumber. And I worked on that a little bit. I want to bring all four voices in. And then it occurred to me that I think that I might use the phrase, I sometimes wish for a museum of childhood as a recurring refrain, potentially. Again, this is me thinking about how I will give the piece a sense of structure. Um, then I grappled a little bit more with a different version of a sanctuary that holds, and so on, with all four voices. And this is very incomplete, but it's sort of the direction I am going in at the moment. And you can see that for me, just so that I don't completely lose the ideas I initially work with, I kept what I had started with for this next phrase, and then I'm redoing it here because I don't want to get rid of any ideas yet that I may come back to and perhaps like. Um, but I also want to be able to work on a different version because I wasn't finding my way here as smoothly as I might hope. So now I'm up to sort of changing this approach to this particular phrase a little bit. So that's where I am at the moment. Um, I'm not worried because I don't mind this phase of feeling as though I'm not quite sure where it's going. I I think that's for me part of the process. I like the idea that the piece will tell me in some ways. I hear this from novel writers quite a bit, that the characters take on a life of their own and they have certain things that they will do that are true for that character that the author didn't necessarily anticipate. And I find that to be true for me for writing, that there are times when I have an idea and um, if it just sort of stops me, I feel like then it's a signal to me that it's not the right idea for this piece at that moment. And if I have an idea that sort of sparks more ideas, that feels like that I'm headed in the right direction. So I'm in that place right now where I'm just trying to pay attention to the whole piece, the whole essay, and also sort of respect where the idea seems to want to go without me necessarily making a lot of choices in advance. So I'm in that place. Sometimes I'm here for quite a while, not being sure where it's going to go, not being sure how it will have a sense of shape and emotion. We'll see. I hope that I will find my way fairly soon, um, but I'll certainly keep working on it. All right. Bye.